Benfei have kindly sent me a whole bunch of their accessories to try out. I've already looked at this laptop stand in a previous video. I'll put a link to that in the description below. It's really good. Laptop stand, adjustable, strong, got power, USB, everything, really cool. But today I'll be looking at this hard drive enclosure. I'll be seeing how easy it is to get a drive installed to this thing, because a lot of people have got these drives just sitting around from old laptops and stuff and computers. And it's nice to be able to put them in something like this and have them ready to use instantly and whenever you feel like it. We're also going to take a look at this USB 5-in-1 multifunctional hub. Sounds very interesting. Got a 15 watt charge cable here for charging your accessories and phones and stuff. I'm going to be plugging it into my phone there, seeing how fast it charges that compared to what I'm used to. And a really cool, I think it's either 7 or 8-in-1 USB expansion hub with individual buttons to turn each one on or off. So yeah, let's take a look. What should we start off with? Let's start off with the hard drive enclosure. Right. So we have the usual instruction manual there. And the hard drive enclosure itself feels nice. It's not that horrible cheap plastic you can get on some products. It's that nice satin kind of finish with a light textured finish there, which is quite nice. So let's get my laptop put on this stand, adjust it at a nice height, lovely jubbly, so smooth, and see how easy this is to get a hard drive installed, and we'll plug it in and see how it performs. Right, so the top just slides off like that. And let's get my hard drive. Now when you do this with a hard drive, make sure it's like bare bones hard drive like that, not one with additional cradles attached and stuff like that. It won't fit. It has to be like stripped down to the bare hard drive, if you know what I mean. And it's just a case of lining up the tabs, which is very straightforward, and pushing it down, lock it into place. That is it. That's done. Done. Very, very straightforward. Right, now let's plug it into my computer. Let's take off that protective tab thing. And there we go, instantly got power. Hopefully the blue light is showing up on the camera there. And yeah, it's come up. I'll just turn this around just to show that hard drive has been shown. As straightforward as that. That's super useful. That is really, really good. So all these hard drives lying around you've got sometimes you've been meaning to transfer some data from for like many moons now, and you've not got around to doing it because it's just a bit awkward. A simple product like this can enable you to do that really, really easily. So that's a absolute winner straight away. Right, so next up, let's take a look at this 5-in-1 multifunctional hub. But I am liking the product so far from Benfei. They're very nice quality overall. Look at this. Comes in a lovely little pouchy case thing. All very nice. Right, so, okay. Guys, feels nice as well. Do like the quality of their stuff. It's not expensive, but it feels expensive, if you know what I mean. Right, so let's take a quick look at the inputs on this. Well, first of all, you've got a really nice power delivery of 100 watts. This means you can charge your laptops, your phones from this really fast. And this is a really nice feature on something of this price range. We've also got one USB 3.2 port, really good for your super fast transfer of data from SSDs and things like that. And two USB 2.0s. Lower speed, but ideal for things like webcams, mice, keyboard, basic charge cable, things like that. Absolutely fine. And we have a HDMI 4K at 30 Hertz. This basically means 30 frames a second. So it's not going to be any good for gaming really, but when you want to output to a second screen and use it for basic stuff like spreadsheets, emails, things like that, absolutely ideal. So yeah, really solid bit of kit for this price range. All right, so now let's take a look at this multi-function USB extender. Usual instruction manual. Got a UK plug there because I am from the UK. Looks like a USB-C to USB-C cable. And the thing itself. Well, this looks nice. Look at this. Really nifty looking. Got those USB 3.0s and individual on-off buttons. That is really handy because a lot of the time you want a few things plugged in, but you don't want them on all the time. Say you've got like several hard drives plugged in, or a USB stick, or your phone charger, but you want them plugged in so you can just charge your phone, turn that hard drive on when you feel like it, but you don't want them on all the time. The press of a button, you can turn them on or off. Listen, let's plug this in now. I'm liking this stuff. Thank you, Benfei. Right, so well, that's a nice generous lead. Look at that as well. Really handy to have a nice long lead on these kind of things for this, because you want to have this plugged in, but you want easy access to your stuff as well. And this nice long generous lead here makes that easy. And again, got this same double option adapter thing. We've got a USB-C as standard, and you can pop off that end bit and it becomes a USB 3.0. So yeah, liking it. A really nice long cable with this. Seems really well made. The buttons feel nice to push. They've got a nice little spring to them, and they stay indented so you can actually see which ones are on or off as well if you needed to, which is nice. But let's plug this in and see how well it does, and then we'll try out that charge cable, see if it's any quicker than my standard cable. Right, so this hub does require power, so I'm using the supplied USB-C cable running into the supplied plug. Let's get this plugged into a USB-C on the back of here, like that, and when I press on these buttons now, we should have power, and as you can see, lights light up to tell you that each individual thing is turned on. So let's turn them off and try out this cable next. So let's plug this cable into here. Now I know how quickly my phone normally charges, so I'm going to plug this in and leave it plugged in and have a check back in a couple of minutes and see how fast or how much quicker my phone is charged. So nothing there at the moment, but when I press this button here to turn this USB-C on, I love this idea of having the individual buttons turn each USB on or off, but we turn that on, that should now be supplying power, and is. So really cool. Love that, because you don't want it plugged in all the time, but you can just turn individual things on or off. So I'll leave that to the side and we'll come back to that in a couple of minutes. All right, so the charge cable has been plugged in for about 10 minutes now. Time to take a look and see how much charge I've actually received and if it performs any better than the supplied cable. And we've gone up to 75%. No point me aiming the phone towards the camera. It's tiny little text, you won't see it. Yeah, but 75%, got to be absolutely honest, that's probably not any different to what I would expect from my normal charge cable that came supplied with the phone after about 10 minutes. So what that means is I've probably got a decent charge cable in the first place. So what this means for this is a decent replacement if you ever need to replace it, or you just want something that's a bit longer, because this is a nice long lead with this. And that's one of the faults with my phone cable at the moment, is the lead is actually pretty short. It's probably no more than a meter, I would say. This is a lot longer than that. So I will probably change over to this cable, because the fact that it's giving me the same charge speed, but got all this extra length, which is useful, and it's a decent quality as well and tangle free, means I'm getting the same performance as what I did from my previous charge cable. So yeah, good. But obviously the speed that these things perform at does vary upon certain things. If you've got it plugged into a laptop, for example, you may not get as much fast charge as you would if it was plugged into the wall. It does vary upon certain things depending upon the cable and what it's plugged into, what your phone does, what phone make it is, and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah, matching my supplied cable that came with the phone, so I'm very happy with that, and I'm very happy with all this stuff. I've got my laptop here on their stand, which is very easily adjustable. I absolutely love that. And one other quick thing while I'm here is, since I've been using this stand for my laptop, I'm not kidding you, the fan has not come on one time. I mean, I don't do super crazy intensive things on the laptop, but when I've done the same things using the laptop as a laptop on my lap, then the fan would come on and it would blow quite hard sometimes. it were misses. And since I've had it on this stand, the fan hasn't come on once. And the reason is there's ventilation holes underneath. If I take the laptop off, you'll see you've got those holes there, which most laptops have the ventilation stuff underneath like that. So when that's on your lap, you're blocking them. And when it's on this, you're releasing that airflow, so it actually stays cooler, easier. And heat is a killer of electronics. And when your fan is coming on unnecessarily, that means your internal components are getting hot, they need to be cooled down, the fan comes on. And like I said, heat is a bit of a killer of components over time, electronics. So if the fan doesn't have to come on, which means the internal components aren't getting as hot as usual, your stuff is going to last longer, which is one of the main benefits of a stand like this, because a laptop stand is a heck of a lot cheaper than a new laptop, I can tell you that for nothing. And links to all this stuff in the description below. Absolutely very, very happy with all of it. So thanks Benfei for sending me this stuff. Today's a video. If you enjoyed it, found it useful or helpful, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching. All this stuff in linked in the description below, but bye for now.